Maria woke up with a strange feeling, as if someone was watching her. She opened her eyes and saw a boy, about 6 years old, sitting at the edge of her bed, staring directly at her. His large eyes glowed in the semi-darkness, and an innocent smile lit up his face. But what surprised her most was that he claimed to be her younger brother. "Who are you?" she asked, trying not to show her fear. "I'm Pablo, your little brother," the boy replied. Maria felt cold sweat run down her spine. She never had a younger brother. She was an only child, but the boy spoke so confidently that she doubted her own memories for a moment. "I don't have a brother," she said firmly. "What are you doing in my house?" Pablo tilted his head to the side and his smile widened. "You just forgot me, but I've always been here." Maria quickly got out of bed and approached the door, trying to find her phone to call the police. But it wasn't in its usual place. She turned back to look at the boy, but he had vanished. The feeling of fear began to intensify. Maria hurried downstairs to the living room, where she found her parents. They were sitting on the couch, watching TV as if nothing had happened. "Mom, Dad, there was a boy in the house," she said, nearly shouting. Her mother turned to her with a strange expression on her face. "Maria, it was just a dream. Go back to bed." "No, it wasn't a dream," she insisted. "He called himself my brother, Pablo." Her parents exchanged glances, and a strange look appeared on their faces. "Maria, we don't have any Pablo. Have you forgotten?" Maria felt her heart skip a beat. What was going on? She began to doubt her own memory. But it was impossible. She would have remembered if she had a brother. That night she couldn't sleep. Every sound, every shadow seemed like a threat. But Pablo did not appear again. The next day, Maria decided to get to the bottom of it. She went to the local archive to look up records about her family. She found old photographs, documents, and among them, a birth certificate for a boy named Pablo, her brother, who had died 6 years ago. A cold feeling washed over her. She didn't remember him. How could she have forgotten? Maria began to feel her memories blending together. She no longer knew what was real and what wasn't. That night, Pablo appeared again. He sat on her bed, smiling. "Did you remember me?" he asked softly. Maria nodded. "How could I forget?" "They made you," he said, pointing to the door. "We were happy together, but then something happened. You need to remember." Maria began to recall fragments of events that seemed to have vanished from her memory. Her parents had always been very strict, but she never understood why. Now everything was falling into place. The next morning, Maria decided to confront her parents. She needed answers. They were sitting in the kitchen, as usual. "Mom, Dad, why didn't you tell me about Pablo?" she asked, trying not to raise her voice. Her mother looked at her with sadness. "We wanted to protect you. After what happened." "What happened?" Maria interrupted. "Pablo died in a car accident when you were 6 years old. You were there. You saw everything, but your memory suppressed those memories. We decided not to mention him, to make it easier for you." Maria felt her legs give way. She sat down, feeling tears stream down her face. All these years she had lived with an empty space in her heart, not understanding why. That night she saw Pablo again. He was standing by the window, looking at the starry sky. "Do you remember everything?" he asked. Maria nodded. "Yes, I remember. I'm sorry I forgot you." Pablo smiled. "It's okay. Now I can leave in peace. Take care of yourself, sister." And with those words, he disappeared, leaving behind only a sense of peace and closure. Maria knew her life would change now. She would never forget her little brother and would always cherish his memory in her heart. But most importantly, she learned to value every moment and never forget those she loved.